It's a warm, beautiful day in Atlanta and a perfect day for the Atlanta Braves to go for a 4-game sweep over the Colorado Rockies and wrap up this homestand in fine fashion. All season long, Atlanta Braves baseball on Peachtree TV and Fox Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price. And good afternoon, everybody. Joe Simpson along with Ron Gant. We're here to try to pull the Braves through on this 4-game sweep, and who better to have on the mound than Tim Hudson?
Well, Tim Hudson is the right guy to have on the mound for this 4-game sweep, and he battled a little bit of a back issue a few starts, and as a result, he elevated some pitches, which got him in trouble. But his last 3 starts, Joe, he has been outstanding. The back's feeling better, that two-seam fastball's looking better, and he's getting strikeouts every time he goes out there. He's going at least 6 innings and striking out at least 6 batters. So, again, Tim Hudson right now is feeling pretty good. That back's feeling good, and he's pitching well. He's
really tough in day games, too. He went undefeated last year in day games, and this year has the lowest ERA of any starter in the National League in day games. It's the final game of the homestand. The Braves can go 6-1 on this homestand with a little bit of luck. They've had great pitching in this series against the Rockies from Hanson, from Lowe, from Jurgens, and they've had some long balls, too. What happens today? We're about to find out. By Academy Sports and Outdoors, by AT&T, by Delta Airlines, and by Hyundai. Ernie Banks used to say it's a good day for 2. Well, it's a good day for a sweep today in Atlanta. A beautiful day here at Turner Field. Game time temperature 89 degrees. Humidity cranking up a little bit. The daytime high is supposed to be in the low 90s. A light breeze blowing out toward right, but not enough to really give you a whole lot of relief. And always the threat this time of year with some pop-up showers as the Atlanta Braves take the field for the last game of this homestand. Here's the Colorado Rockies starting lineup this afternoon, a little different. Blackman and Herrera remain the same at the top of the order, but Jason Giambi gets a start at first base as Todd Helton is not in there. Seth Smith in right field, Mark Ellis at second, Ian Stewart bats sixth, then Spilborg, Zionetta, and Nicasio. So today's starting lineup, Ron, for Tim Hudson, no Tulowitzki, no Carlos Gonzalez, no Todd Helton.
Well, we mentioned Tim Hudson's last 3 games. He's throwing the ball very well, 2-0 with a 1.35 ERA. He's got 22 strikeouts in that span. And that's a span of 20 innings, Joe, and he's only given up 3 earned runs, and that was his last start against Baltimore. So he's feeling pretty good out there on the mound. He's got that sinker working well.
The defense behind him today in the outfield, McLeod, Schaefer, and Hayward. Jason back in there this afternoon. The infield, Chipper, Gonzalez, Ugla, and Freeman. One change defensively, and that's in the battery with David Ross getting the start today and giving Brian McCann a day off in the day game after the night game. The umpires, we've had all 4 of these umpires behind the plate at one point during this series. Scott Berry gets the call today, Wally Bell at first, Laz Diaz at second, and Corey Blazer. The rookie umpire did a good job last night, works at third. Tim Hudson, again, bears repeating, outstanding numbers in day games. He was 7-0 last year with a 2.17 ERA in day games. This year he's 2-0 with a National League best 1.56 ERA during the day. Was it harder for you to see during the day, Ron?
I love day games.
Me too.
It wasn't a problem for me.
Me too. I always said I'd have been a good Cub.
That's right. Well, you would have had to make sure you got your rest, that's for sure.
Crowd continuing to file in here as we see some of the folks still out in the center field plaza making their way to their seats. Braves are 5-1 on this homestand, and they are a season high 16 games over 500. In fact, at this same stage of last year, they have the exact same record, 52-36, although it was a little flip-flop last year. They were in first place, and Phillies were chasing them. Philadelphia has a day off today. They are back home, awaiting the Braves to come in over the weekend for a 3-game set prior to the All-Star break. The Rockies, meanwhile, have lost 4 in a row. They've lost 6 in a row on the road. They're 41-46. They're in third place out west, 7.5 back of San Francisco. And Charlie Blackmon will lead off for Colorado. He's 1 for 14 in the series, and first pitch of the ball game on the way. Ball 1.
You know, that 1 for 14 is a little deceiving because he has had some really good at-bats up there. Just hadn't found any holes yet.
A Georgia native and out of Georgia Tech. One and one. There was some thought given to Carlos Gonzalez playing today. Took a little light batting practice yesterday, but obviously not in there. Out of play, 1-2. Tulowitzki still nursing a strained quadricep muscle that he injured in his second at bat in the first game of this series. Hasn't played since. And Todd Helton getting a day off.
Well, I know the Rockies need both those guys in the lineup, including Todd Helton, but Todd Helton getting a day off. But you mentioned Tulo and Cargo, and you know, why not? You know, why push it? You don't want, you got the All-Star break coming up, so.
Change up, pulled, foul.
Don't want any setbacks for those guys.
Well, you mentioned last night, you're so right, that this Colorado team for the last several years has been a second half team. And it seems like especially the last 6 weeks of the season, that's when they play their best baseball under Jim Tracy, and before that, Clint Hurdle. So you need all your guns blazing.
You know, there's been some speculation that the Rockies are talking to the Astros about Wandy Rodriguez, who's a left-hander and very effective.
A little flare to left, but McLeod was playing shallow, and he's got it. 1 out. Not only have the Rockies lost 4 in a row and 6 in a row on the road, they've lost their last 6 straight day games, which is a little bit of a surprise because they have the 4th best National League average in day games as a team, and only the Reds have hit more homers in day games than Colorado.
Yeah, their last win in a day game was on June 15th versus San Diego.
This is Jonathan Herrera. He's played well since Tulowitzki got hurt. Had a good series, 4 for 10, switch hitter. 2-0 to Herrera, and our Delta Airlines on deck hitter is Jason Giambi, whose career against Tim Hudson pretty strong against his former teammate. 2-1. Tim coming into this start, those 3 starts that you referred to, Ron, 20 innings, 7 walks, 22 strikeouts. A lot of it that two-seamer to left-handed hitters that's working so well. Falls behind here, 3-1. And on a hot, humid day, pitches will be at a premium.
Yeah, he went through a stretch where about 5 games he wasn't feeling very well, but he's definitely worked that out.
And he walks Herrera. And here is the big first baseman. Giambi's had a good year. 9 homers, 20 RBIs. He's hitting .278. And had a 3-home run game earlier this year against the Phillies. He was the second oldest player in Major League history to hit 3 homers in a game. Only Stan Musial was older when he did it in 1962. Shift on for Giambi. 3 infielders on the right side. And there's another one that misses. Ball 1. Alex Gonzalez stays on the left side of the diamond. Chipper Jones, the third baseman, moves over to play a more customary second base position. Line to left center field. McLeod's not going to be able to cut that one off, and Herrera can run. He's at third base. He's going to be waved home, and he's going to score. And Jason Giambi, getting the start today, pays dividends right away. His 21st RBI, and the Rockies strike first. It's 1-0.
Joe, there were 2 guys that I played with in my career that pretty much amazed me at the plate. One of them was Mark McGwire, of course, breaking the season home run record. But the other one was this guy, Jason Giambi. I played with him in 2001 with the Oakland Athletics. And I'll tell you, every at-bat that he went up there was a quality at-bat. And if you made any type of mistake, caught any of the plate against this guy, he was as hot as they came.
His 4th double to go with 9 homers. So the walk also comes back to Hudson. And Seth Smith, the batter, 3 for 10 in the series, hitting .301 for the year. Chops that foul.
Well, we keep throwing out that stat that the Braves, when they score first, as of right now, they're 38-8. So they're going to have to overcome that stat today. Colorado's first lead of the series.
First lead in 36 innings, going back to their last game against Kansas City. 0-2 to Smith. I mentioned Giambi, the second oldest to hit 3 homers in a game. I'm not sure I gave you his age. He's 40 years old and 131 days. Stan Musial was 41 when he did it.
In 80 at-bats, Jason Giambi has 21 RBIs. And that's how good he really is.
And the 9 homers. He's doing a great job. One and 2 to Smith. In the air to left field. McLeod gives ground, but he's got room, and he'll make the catch. He's been busy already. 2 down, and Mark Ellis, the batter. Ellis is 3 for 10 in the series, and he has been a great addition to the ball club since coming from Oakland. 11 for 25 in a Rockies uniform. That's a .440 average. 4 doubles, 2 homers in his 11 hits for Colorado.
Yeah, you mentioned last night's ball game that doesn't look like a very big guy, but he is really strong for second baseman.
Got a good cut at that one.
Good player. I've always liked Mark Ellis. Battled a few injuries the last couple of seasons, but when he's in the lineup, he is very effective. Plays great defense also.
Just underway. Rockies on top 1-0. The first inning has been a problem inning for Tim Hudson at times. In fact, the first inning he's given up more runs in that inning than any other. 13 now. Good pitch there. Took a little off. 0-2.
Well, the Braves are 9-1 in their last 10 games here at Turner Field, and they've outscored their opponents 47-18. So you like those chances, especially the way the offense has been clicking lately.
0-2 to Ellis. Stayed alive. Looked like a slider. Hudson only allowed 7 runs total in the first inning all last year. 13 this year. Ian Stewart would be next. 2 out. Giambi at second. Off the plate. Tough play. Hudson will have to hurry. Bare hands and got him. Nice play. Hudson's out of the inning, but not before the Rockies strike first. A walk and then a double by Giambi. We go to the bottom of the first. 1-0 Colorado. Jordan Schaefer will lead it off. He's coming off a 4-hit night last night. He's bumped his average up to 243. Then Gonzalez and Chipper Jones. Freddie Freeman moves into the cleanup spot today. Dan Ugla bats 5th, and he is swinging a hot bat. Hayward in the 6th spot. Then Ross, McLouth, and Hudson round out the order against 24-year-old Juan Nicasio.
Nicasio out of San Francisco de Macorís, Dominican Republic. 6'3", 200 pounds. You're going to get fastballs. He doesn't have much as far as secondary pitches. He did have a pretty solid start his last start, where he went 80 innings, shutout innings. Tried to find a curveball, and if the Braves are smart today, they're just going to look fastball and be aggressive.
Throws hard, throws in the low to mid-90s. Braves have never seen him before, and here's Schaefer. Takes a 92 fastball, 0-1. Nicasio was called up in mid-June from Tulsa. Played for the Tulsa Drillers in the AA Texas League. And was 5-1 there with a 2.22 ERA and led the Texas League in strikeouts. In fact, those 63 strikeouts you see were 9 better than anyone in the league at that time. And the fourth best among any pitcher in AA baseball anywhere.
Yeah, really solid minor league numbers, strikeout numbers.
Just missed with that 95 fastball. He's also been lucky in this respect, Ron. When he pitches, he gets runs. He's been averaging 8.6 runs per start of support from his teammates. And he gets Jordan Schaefer. First strikeout of the day. Here's the defense for Colorado behind him today. Blackman, Spilborghs, and Smith. Three guys can go get him out there in the outfield. Stewart, Herrera, Ellis, and Giambi from the 31st. Chris Iannetta back behind the plate after a night off. He'll do the catching.
The Rockies have also played airless baseball behind the Costas. So he's going out there and he just has good rhythm.
The ball is flying out of his hand. I know that. That start you mentioned against Kansas City on July 1st. 8 innings, a 3-hit shutout ball. He walked 2, struck out 4. Changeup lifted to center. Spilborghs is there. 2 down.
He also had 16 ground ball outs in that start. I mentioned he fanned 8, so that fastball is good and hard, but it also has some movement on it.
Well, I consider the Braves a real good fastball hitting team up and down the lineup, and it may take them a time through the order to get a look at this guy and get a feeling for some timing. There's Chipper, who homered last night. His 8th of the year, and he's hit in 5 straight. 256 average, 46 driven in. To second, and Ellis makes it an easy inning for Nicasio. He only threw 9 pitches. We go to the second. Depot, by Academy Sports and Outdoors, by Checkers, and by Georgia Power. We go to the second inning. Joe Simpson and Ron Gant with you from Turner Field. Rockies on top 1-0. If you're in the area, come on by and join us. Got room for you. We've even got some shady spots if that's what you prefer. Ian Stewart takes one down low. 1 for 7 in the series. He just got called back up from Colorado Springs. You see that batting average? That's no misprint. 4 for 54 on the year. After a horrible start in April, and he got sent out April 19th.
And that's how depleted this lineup has been with Tulo and Cargo out. 074 hitter hitting 6th.
Yeah. Change up. He was way out in front of that one. Good pitch. 1-2. 20 pitches for Hudson in the first inning. Two and two.
Braves pitching staff still leads the majors in ERA at a 3.02, and also opponents' batting average against at 230. Up there in quality starts also.
Bouncer up the middle, backhanded by Ugly. He'll have to hurry. Got him. That was a half stretch, half reach for Freddie Freeman, but he used all 6'5" of him to haul that in.
Dan Ugler showing his range here. Good backhand. A little bit of a high throw, but you mentioned it, Joe. It helps to be a tall guy over there at first base. And again, we talked about how hot he's been at the plate, but Freddie Freeman defensively has saved these infielders a ton of errors this season so far.
Ryan Spilborg steps in. Started game 1. Pinch hit in the last 2 games. 0 for 6 in the series. And hitting just .218, but he's one of those guys that's helped their day game average. He's hitting .360 in day games. He too might have been a good Cub. Up the middle for Gonzalez. Always steady. Alex Gonzalez throws him out. 2 down. And with 2 out, fans, a reminder, get your tickets now to see the world's greatest party band. The B-52s perform a free post-game concert presented by Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines following the Braves game against the Nationals on Saturday, July 16th. Get your tickets in advance at Braves.com/B52s.
You'll see me a lot that day, Joe. I'm going to be very busy.
You won't see me. That's why you're going to be busy.
Exactly.
Chris Iannetta, the catcher, takes low. 1 for 6 in the series, hitting .225.
You know how every organization has that one thing that they do well? You know, the Braves organization have a couple of things like starting pitchers, but they always seem to find that first baseman that's a Gold Glover. Teixeira, Galarraga, Freddie Freeman, LaRoche.
Yeah.
I mean, we've always had that really good first baseman to be able to, for these infielders, they know they can just throw it in the vicinity and he's going to make the play.
All of those guys you mentioned, big guys too. Iannetta sends one to right. Hayward makes the one-handed catch, and there's an easy inning for Tim Hudson. Just a 10-pitch inning for him, and we go to the bottom of the second.
Brought to you by Jameson Inn, ranked #1 in customer satisfaction nationwide for 6 straight years. Experience all the comfort and amenities you expect at an unexpectedly low price. Jameson Inn. Live large, pay less.
Braves went in order in the bottom of the first. That will bring up Freeman, Ugla, and Hayward here in the second inning against Juan Nicasio. He was very impressive in the first inning, throwing hard. A lot of campers here at the ballpark today. Always tell that by all the colorful shirts. Saw one guy here at the ballpark today we were both happy to see, Ron. He's not a camper, but certainly no stranger to the Braves. Jeff Glauser was here with his son Cooper. See the game today. It's great to see him as Freddie Freeman steps in. He's hit in 4 straight, hitting .273.
Yeah, you don't get a chance to see Jeff much, so it was a pleasant surprise today. A little BP with his 8-year-old son, and his son's already swinging the bat. Look at this. Good timing there.
Perfect timing. Good to see Jeff and Cooper at the ballpark. 3-0 to Freeman, who's 4 for 10 in this series with 3 homers. And he draws a 4-pitch walk. Good start to the second. Now it's time for our SunTrust solid performance. Belongs to Dan Ugla, who over the last 17 games, Ron, has reached base 22 times and really beginning to show signs of coming out of it.
Yeah, it was really funny in the post-game interview last night. I asked him about that double he hit off Matt Lister in the right center field, and he said, well, to be honest with you, it was a mistake, an accident. But it's not a mistake or accident what he's been doing at the plate lately.
Home runs in back-to-back nights. 4 for 8 in the series with 2 homers and a bunch of walks. Another good fastball hitter too. Slider misses, 1-1. The story on Nicasio is that as good as his fastball is, he has trouble throwing his other pitches for strikes. And if he's not going to do that, then everybody sits on his fastball and then he runs into problems. Good location there, 1-2. Jason Hayward on deck.
And Nicasio's, I'm sure he's saying to himself, I'm just going to throw fastballs until they make me change it. And I'll go to trying my secondary pitches. But right now, he's just trying to pump those fastballs in there.
Popped him up. Shallow left center. Spilborghs calls for it. He'll make the catch. 1 out. Freeman back to first. And the interesting thing to me about his numbers, Ron, even in the minor leagues, is that for being a young, hard thrower and not having really any specific secondary pitch, he doesn't walk a bunch of guys. He's got a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio coming into this game in the big leagues, and that's about what it was in Double-A too.
Yeah, that's 4th among rookies, and the #1 guy in that category is Brandon Beachy. Well, and that's the reason why that I mentioned earlier, the defense plays so well behind him. He goes out there and he throws strikes, man. I'm telling you, you're an outfielder and you're already pretty much bored out there, and the guy's out there throwing balls.
Yeah.
You want to go talk to him yourself from left field.
Jason Hayward didn't start last night, but he got a couple of at-bats. 0 for 2, hit into a double play. He's average at .223.
Yeah, I talked about Jason making some adjustments at the plate. And, he stands so far off of it that, of course, those pitches away, he's going to drive them away, but his pitchers are starting to come inside on him, and he's rolling over. Sometimes you got to make adjustments. There were times where I faced guys that were throwing a lot of changeups, and I would take a 36, 34-ounce bat up there. And for you folks at home that don't know, that's a piece of wood. I mean, it still had the leaves and
that's a log.
limbs hanging off of it. But this game at this level is about adjustments, and these major league pitchers they're going to find that spot where you're weak. They're going to exploit it, and they're going to make you make an adjustment.
Iannetta has a quick chat with Nicasio after he falls behind 2-0. And he lines one to left center field. Spilborg's on the run. Diving effort, can't get it. It's off his glove. Freeman will make it around to third as Hayward pulls in with an opposite field double. That's a good sign for Jason.
And this is exactly what I mean. He's so far off the plate that he has to dive in, and if you make a mistake in the middle of the plate away, that's what he's going to do. He's going to drive that ball to the opposite field. So if you're a major league pitcher, you're thinking, I've got to come inside underneath his hands to get him out. But that's a mistake by Nicasio.
Chance for Atlanta to at least tie the game up. Tying run at third. Go ahead run at second for David Ross, getting the start today. Hasn't played in this series, but 1 for 4 in the homestand, and that one hit was a grand slam against Baltimore. And he too a good fastball hitter. Takes one downstairs, ball 1 at 96.
It's such a luxury to have a guy like David Ross as your backup catcher. Could probably start on any other ball club. But when he's in the game, giving McCann a day off, he is very effective. With the bat, you pretty much don't lose anything.
Braves are 14-4 when he starts. So you're right, best backup catcher in the game. Hitting .305, 4 homers, 14 driven in.
And you're right, he can hit the fastball.
1 out, runners at second and third. Good cut there, 1-1. It's the only day game in baseball today. Everything else under the lights. Pretty light schedule around both leagues. Actually, only a couple of teams that are off, come to think of it. Phillies and Marlins. As Ross takes a strike 1 and 2.
You see Nicasio still throwing fastballs, and he knows he got away with a pitch to Dan Uggla. It was a breaking ball, but it was up in the zone, and Dan Uggla wished he would have got that pitch back. Just got underneath it.
And he struck him out. Big out there for Nicasio with the infield back. Willing to concede a run. He gets a strikeout, and now McLouth the batter with first base open if they so choose, and Hudson on deck. Second strikeout for Nicasio.
Just a good hard fastball. A little bit of movement, but kind of overpowering, and I'm not sure what David was looking for there. Nicasio's definitely throwing a lot of fastballs today.
They're going to put McLouth on and take their chances with Hudson. Freddie Freeman needs to be heads up just in case with this young pitcher. You never know.
Seen it happen before.
Well, as everybody that's a Braves fan knows, Tim Hudson's no slouch. He only has 2 hits this year, but one of them's a home run. And it was in a game where he was throwing a 2-hit shutout. So he hits a homer to win the game 2-0 and throws the shutout. It was A great American Legion game that night.
Quite a game.
Here's that swing.
It's a fastball running in from a lefty, and he knew he got it right away.
Ricky Romero. His second career homer. Here's another one off Chris Carpenter. It was Carpenter in St. Louis. Bases loaded, 2 out.
Hudson's 3 for 9 with the career with the bases loaded. So he sees an RBI situation.
Yeah.
Man, he's gritting his teeth.
That's some damage. Takes a strike.
I'm not sure what signs Ionetta was given, but I'm sure it's a fastball. It's just
Yeah, there was.
some fake signs.
At 96. Casio's listed at 6'3", 200 pounds. He's every bit of 200 pounds. Won 12 games last year in the COL League, 12 and 10. Almost got through Ionetta. 2-1. Jonathan Herrera comes in from shortstop to bark out some encouragement. It's a hot, muggy day. He had a fast first inning, only 9 pitches. 22 so far this inning. Tim didn't like that call. 2-2.
Yeah, this might have been down just a little bit, but if you're Tim Hudson, you don't want to complain too much. You want those calls also.
Yeah, I think the way Ionetta caught the ball made it look like it was lower than it actually was. 2-2. Struck him out. Nicasio comes back, gets a couple of strikeouts to get out of trouble. Braves leave him loaded, and we go to the third. 1-0 Colorado. Time for Ron and I to put our thinking caps on. Here's our AT&T U-verse trivia question. Since 2009, Carlos Gonzalez, one of only 3 players with 50 or more steals and 60 or more homers. Who are the other 2? 2 other players since 09, did that say?
Yes. It's my category. Some speed and some homers.
I think I would normally throw Chase Utley in there, but because he was injured, he's been hurt a lot the last couple of years, I don't think so. You have to think about that one.
Good one.
Nicasio will step in, the pitcher. He's 2 for 13. Both of his hits are doubles. He's not from San Pedro de Macorís, but he's from San Pedro, San Francisco, Dominican Republic, so probably still hit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and 2. Just missed with a slider.
Yeah, good try there. Talked about in the open where Tim had a little bit of a stiff back there for a while and couldn't get over his pitches. Good pitch.
Check swing, but the pitch was a strike anyway, and that's Tim's first strikeout.
Got very kind of flinched on that. He wasn't sure if he was going to call it yet, but I think Lawson framed it well and showed him that it was a strike.
I think he flinched because he thought Nicasio was going to go ahead and swing, and he didn't. Charlie Blackmon flied to left to start the first inning, and then Herrera walked, and he was driven home from first on a double to left center by Jason Giambi. That's the only run of the game.
I always wondered why umpires, they don't do it anymore. You see where Barry set up. He set up pretty much on the inside corner to the lefty there, but why they don't set up right in the middle of the plate anymore?
I don't know. I wish they would. Because sometimes if the target gets set up inside and they have to try to still be on the inside shoulder, they get taken out of position.
And it's tougher for them to see that outside corner pitch.
Yeah.
So how do you judge that if you're set up on the inside corner?
Hard to do.
Remember they used to have those big cushion protectors, and you and I were kids.
League, yeah. American League had them.
Set up right in the middle of the plate.
0-2 to Blackmon. He was a great umpire, a lot of fun in the American League, named George Maloney, that I always enjoyed. Funny story about him and his balloon protector. Down low, ball 1. We were starting the game. He was behind the plate, puts his balloon protector in place, and signals play ball. And then he screams out real loud. We're in the Metrodome. Screams out real loud, time, time, time. He'd forgotten his mask. He didn't have his mask on. Little looper again to left field. McLeod playing shallow, but not shallow enough. And Charlie Blackmon with a Ric Flair to left. His second hit of the series. Good speed aboard with 1 out.
Got his mask. That's like going up to the plate without a bat.
I know.
I mean, how do you forget your
crack up? Yeah. Game was held up while one of the clubhouse guys ran up to the umpire's room and got his mask for him.
Yeah, I'm sure he was tough, but he wasn't that tough.
Jonathan Herrera walked and scored in the first. ground ball here. Shorten this inning a little bit on a hot day. Last year, Tim led all the major leagues in percentage of ground balls at almost 76%. Not quite that high this year at 70.
Derek Lowe has to be up there also.
3 ground ball outs today so far. Runner goes, hit and run, and he just squirts it through the infield on the left side. Nate McLeod comes up with it, but Blackman with his great speed goes first to third on that little dribbler that got through at short where Alex Gonzalez had been.
Well, I know Herrera's had a couple little blunders filling in for Tulo, but for the most part he's been pretty solid defensively. He puts on the hit and run and does a great job of hitting it the other way.
He's had a good series, Herrera. That's his 5th hit.
You know, that's something I've always talked about is if you suspect a hit and run, why does the opposite guy always cover the bag? Because if I'm hitting a hit and run, I would always try to hit it the other way. You got to stay with the pitch longer. You got to make sure you put it in play. So why not have the shortstop covering there, or the second baseman covering there instead of the shortstop? I've never gotten that.
Well, it's rare that you actually succeed on a hit and run, hitting the ball to left field, but that one was hit so slowly. And now what we have here, Charlie Blackman has a problem. I don't know if he injured himself rounding second or in the slide into third.
Noticeable limp.
They can ill afford any more injuries. Look at this foot or ankle. Oh yeah, he slipped a little around, going around second.
Well, the slide was okay, so yeah, it was that little cross up at second base.
Foot problem, and Jim Tracy's looking in his dugout. That's really frustrating for a guy like Charlie Blackman, who's getting a chance to play with these injuries, and he's going to have to come out of the game.
It's got to be hard for Jim Tracy. Pretty much running out of players.
Ty Wigginton will come in and run for him, and most likely stay in the game to play left field. It's turning into a mash unit over there for the guys in black. So Jason Giambi, the batter, 1 out, runners on the corners. He's already driven in the only run of the game with a double in the first. Now 9 for 20 in his career against Hudson. I mentioned after the double between innings run that maybe Tim's going to have to start pitching him inside a little bit, or at least showing him inside, keep him honest. Little dribbler, that's going to be trouble. Hudson can't get the ball out of his glove, and the run scores. Everybody's safe. 2-0 Colorado. Tim was checking the runner and thought about coming home, but he couldn't get the ball out.
Yeah, I think I heard David Ross yelling home, 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 and just couldn't get it out. And sometimes you just got to take what it gives you and just get that out at first base.
Going to score that a fielder's choice and an RBI. That's another screwy scoring position that I don't get. We've seen some weird ones the last 2 days. Inside to Seth Smith, who flied to left his last time up and only time up today. You know, if he made a toss to the plate and didn't get him, then it's a fielder's choice. He didn't even make a play.
Yeah.
So there was no choice involved. He just
hitting an error.
Yeah,
a hit and an RBI.
Hit an RBI all the way. Last night, 3 questionable scoring rulings. That 2 were changed. One more should have been. 2-0. So far, my phone hasn't rung. I'll be happy to offer any opinion. 1-1 to Smith.
It's another good-looking player here, Seth Smith. Some good at-bats this series also.
And he's getting a chance to play every day. And that hit him. He didn't move to get out of the way, and that may be something Hudson's complaining about to Scott Berry. He never moved. Wrenched off his knee.
Well, that's something Tim Hudson's trying to do, and that's pitch inside and make these guys move their feet. And he tried to come inside on Jason Giambi, and he was pretty successful, but Jason just hit it in the right spot. But hit by pitch there, but I don't mind him trying to pitch inside.
No, Tim's not shy about that. That's his 6th batter he's hit this year. That's the most on the team. So bases are loaded for Mark Ellis, and a run already in. It's 2-0 Colorado. Good cutter there for a strike. 0-1. All this started with 1 out after he struck out the pitcher, and then a little flare to left by Blackman, and then a hit and run dribbler through the left side by Herrera. To third. Chipper steps on third, goes to first, double play, inning over. Nicely done by the third baseman for the Atlanta Braves, the veteran Chipper Jones, and the inning is over. We go to the bottom of the 3rd, 2-0 Rockies. Third inning. Time for our Home Depot know-how question of the game, and today it comes from Kathy Stubbs from Memphis, Tennessee, who wants to know, how do hitters prepare to face a pitcher they've never faced before?
I used to get bug-eyed, Joe, sitting in front of the video watching a guy pitch that I hadn't seen before. And, you know, personally, you try to see trends when you get the video. Nowadays, you know, when I first got to the big leagues, there wasn't a lot of tape on guys, so you would just kind of get a scouting report from some of the guys that maybe have heard what he's had. But video nowadays is very valuable to to all organizations so you can get a chance to see what this guy features. But for me, if I never faced a guy, I knew he was going to throw a fastball. I didn't care what else he threw, but if he threw me a fastball, I was going to get him.
First at bat didn't matter. You were
didn't
up
matter.
There. Okay. Jordan Schaefer struck out his first time up against Nicasio. Shows bunt, takes a strike. Second time through the order beginning for Atlanta. They had second and third, one out in the second, but didn't score. Had them loaded with two out, didn't score. Line to right. On the run, Smith. He's not going to get that one. It'll short hop the wall. In fact, it'll bounce up over the wall as Jordan Schaefer turned on that one, and he's got himself a ground rule double. Fifth hit in his last 7 at bats.
Yeah, this is another mistake by Nicasio. You see it up and in, and you see where Ionetta was set up. He was set up away, and right now the way Jordan Schaefer's swinging the bat, he's hitting all those mistake pitches, and he's been setting the table for the Braves. He's still learning how to hit, but his mindset has been of a veteran, trying to stay in the middle of the field and gets a mistake and takes advantage of it.
And it just proves again, Ron, that you can still turn on the ball even if you're thinking up the middle.
Well, his hands are so quick that he doesn't have to try to pull the ball.
Alex Gonzalez popped to center his first time. See if he can get him over. Takes outside. Hard thrower, right-handed batter. Chipper's taking his position as an on-deck hitter, almost in the Braves dugout. Just not to get hit by a foul tip. Two and 0.
Okay, so if he gets him over to third, I'll ask you again. You know, I think like a hitter. What's the difference between hitting a ground ball over to second base and getting him to third, or bunting him over for a sacrifice? You get an out on one, you get a sacrifice on the other.
You get charged and bat on the other. I guess because there was also a chance you might get a hit and drive in a run. Alex got a piece of Ionetta on the backswing there, 2 and 1.
Well, I always had the mindset, because I hit second, you know, sometimes in my career, throughout my career, and you know, when you're trying to get that runner over, it's just like a hit and run. You're trying to give yourself up to hit it to the right side to get that guy. So for me, I'm sacrificing what I normally do to get that runner over.
I'm with you. Just missed getting him. Wow. Jim Tracy will come out of the dugout to check with Laz Diaz on that one, but Jordan Schaefer almost got picked.
Yeah, this is that's a good play by the shortstop there to sneak in behind him, and this is where your first and third base coaches come in critical, because they've got to be letting you know that shortstop's starting to sneak in there.
I still couldn't tell from that last angle.
And it definitely looked like Schaefer was getting a little edgy over there, trying to get a pretty good jump.
Two to nothing Rockies, third inning. Scott Berry said a little out. 3 and 1.
Ionetta's barking at him back there.
Well,
You
so
can
is
hear him
John.
up here. Yeah.
He's just about to come in and slap him around a little bit. He's pointing at the hitter and saying, work on him, get him. Quit worrying about the guy behind you. Has done that a couple of times lately, and almost that exact same spot. Full count. We'll donate that bat to the fans, and hopefully no one got hurt.
Atlanta's 4 for 25 with runners in scoring position. this series. They've won 3 of the 4 games.
Yeah, it's hard to believe they're 3-0 in this series.
Pitching.
With that many opportunities and lack of success. Still a chance for Alex to get him over, though, or get him in. Back. And this time they dropped the ball.
See what speed will do for you. Jordan Schaefer out there at second base, and all of a sudden that pitcher's turning his attention to you out there at second, and more times than none they're liable to make a mistake in the middle of the strike zone.
Good point. Maybe he'll make one right here. Payoff pitch to Alex. Stays alive after he rings the bell of Chris Iannetta. That kind of shot to the mask, I know it doesn't feel good under any circumstances, but on a hot, muggy day, it's got to rattle you. And the trainer comes out again to check on him.
Yeah, it's got to be seeing a few stars right here.
That was
man,
head on. Chris will hang in there. Scott Berry will give him the time he needs.
Catchers have been taking a beating this series.
I need to tell you.
I think that's the reason why McCann has a day off today more than anything. Just to give his body a break from all the foul tips he's been taking.
I told Brian today he was my idol. He was tougher than any MMA person I'd ever seen.
That's right.
Another 3-2 pitch spoiled. Alex hanging in there and running up the pitch count of Nicasio, who's at 42 pitches, 22 strikes, 20 balls.
Yeah, good at bat by Gonzalez here, and you can see where he's still trying to shoot that ball over to the right side.
His pitch count high is 108 in a start against San Diego. Threw only 84 in a start against the Yankees. That'll be out of play. And a correction to that, he threw 111 in his last start against Kansas City when he went 8 innings. Start against the Yankees 2 starts ago. He only went 5 innings and only gave up 4 hits, but he gave up 4 runs. And he retired the first 13 he faced.
And again, he only walked 1 in that game. So he definitely goes out there and throwing strikes.
Full count again. Line to center. That's going to get down for a hit. Jordan Schaefer's going to be waved home. Spilborghs comes up throwing, and his throw is off the mark and late. And a great at bat by Alex Gonzalez to pick up his 26th RBI of the year, and it's 2-1 Colorado.
This is just a phenomenal at bat by Alex Gonzalez. He fought off some tough pitches, and that hopefully an at bat like this where you're trying to get that runner to third base and you end up getting a base hit and driving in a run, he has started some good things for him to come.
Bob Apodaca, who has worn out the grass between the mound and the dugout in this series.
Well, Giambi warned him. Get your attention on that hitter and not worry about the guy at second base running. That's exactly what speed will do to you.
Yeah, that was a good point, Ron. The distraction that Schaefer may have caused him.
Schaefer got 4 hits in last night's ball game. He scored a run. it's overlooked, but a lot of times, like I said before, it's not on the scorecard or in the scorebooks, but some of the things that speed creates as far as pressure against the defense.
Chipper jumps on one to center. Spilborghs will have to play it on a hop. Alex rounds second, but he'll hold there as Chipper jumps on the first pitch after the meeting on the mound and ripped it to center. And he gets a pat backside from Giambi.
Well, you mentioned it earlier, Joe. It might take a time through the lineup before these guys figure out what he's doing. I think they're right on track with that. They know he's going to come with fastballs. They just needed to see him one time through, and Chipper just jumps on that pitch and drives it up the middle.
Hit that one right on the button, and now Freeman, the batter, he walked his first time. That hit by Chipper. He's now hit safely in 6 straight. Change up, pull foul. Well, he really telegraphs that pitch. Everything slows down. Hitters are beginning to pick that up.
Chipper hit his 444th home run last night in his career, and that's third among switch hitters. Mickey Mantle and Eddie Murray, the other two.
997 extra base hits for Chipper in his career.
Amazing.
Down low, 1-1. Came back with another off-speed pitch and a better one.
The last 4 games for Freddie, 417 averaging, 3 homers, 5 RBIs, and every one of those RBIs have been big ones.
Yeah, he's had a good week. It's low again, 2-1. They try real hard to keep him from getting his arms extended. Teams have tried to tie him up inside, but we've also seen a pitch that may have been not quite far enough inside and what he can do to it.
Well, he made an out on the ball last night. It looked like the pitch was going to hit him, and he pulled his hands in and got to it, but he made an out, but can get to that pitch also.
Well off the mark, 3-1. Iannetta did a good job there to backhand that pitch. Nobody out, a run in. 2-1 Colorado. Gonzalez at second, Chipper at first. And Freeman in a good hitter's count. And he sends a drive to deep left center. Spilborghs looks up. That ball's gone. Opposite field home run again for Freddie Freeman. A 3-run shot. You know, I think he's going to be a pretty good player someday.
You think so? I'm telling you, he is right now as hot as they come. And I mentioned a little bit ago those RBIs, those 5 RBIs have been huge ones, and he adds on here with 3 more.
That's a short stroke, too. And the ball jumps off his bat.
Yeah, you know, and we've talked about it before. It amazes me how some of these pitchers nowadays do not try to come inside on guys you know that have really good opposite field power.
13 homers, 42 RBIs for Freddie Freeman. Already his 4th home run this week. Still nobody out in the inning. 1-1 to Ugla, who popped to center his first time. He goes the other way. That's slicing away from Smith. That's going to go to the wall. I don't know if that one was by accident, Ron, but he hit that one right on the button. An opposite field double for Ugla. He stays hot.
Joe, I don't think this is an accident at all. Dan Ugla has changed his mental approach at the plate. He's thinking more of the middle of the field, and he's taking what the pitchers are giving him right now. And that's a pitch running away on the outside part of the plate, and he stays with it. He doesn't try to pull it. And good things happen when you stay on pitches like that.
Look at that replay again, Ron. If we'll show that one as they have a meeting on the mound, show that same replay, and watch how his body is, everything's driving through the ball here. This is something he wasn't doing early in the year. Everything was, he's pulling off the plate, but watch his upper body. Drive through there.
I like it. You're right, Joe. I mean, you see those, that indication of that front shoulder will always tell you if a guy's pulling off pitches, and right there he stays right in the strike zone with that front shoulder. Once that front shoulder flies, you're done.
Jason Hayward, double the left center his first time up. Takes ball one. And the second time through the order, not a pleasant one for Nicasio. A double, two singles, a homer, another double. Took a little off that one, and Jason out in front.
Well, this is the Braves offense we pretty much expected all season long. You know, they've been hitting the long ball for most of their runs this season so far, but this last week or so of games, they've really put together some innings where they've manufactured runs and they're getting the long ball as well.
Going back to that home run that Freddie hit, when he hits the ball that way toward left center, it surprises me sometimes when I see the outfielders give up on it so quickly, because it looks like it's on a low trajectory, and it reminds me of how Chipper hits him when he hits him left-handed that way.
Well, I'm sure he
how the ball carries.
Picks his mind. That's a great point. You know, when you drive the ball out of the ballpark the opposite way, you don't have that uppercut. You get backspin on it instead of side spin, and that makes the ball carry. So Chipper's one of the best I've seen at doing that, driving the ball the other way. And I'm sure Freddie is learning a lot from Chipper.
2-2 to Hayward. Get him over or get him in. Ugla at second. And he'll get him over, and he might get him in. Ugla's going to be waved home. Seth Smith comes up firing. Throw is late. Another run in on the RBI by Hayward. His 21st of the year. It's a 5-run inning so far, and the Braves are up 5-2, and still nobody out.
Well, this pitch actually gets in a little bit on Jason Hayward. I've talked about how Nicasio would try to come inside, seeing that Hayward's off the plate and diving, but Jason's so big and strong that pitch inside, if you don't get it far enough in, he's still able to fight it off and get a base hit.
6 straight hits. Eric Stoltz, a long reliever and part-time starter, is loosening up. David Ross, the batter, he struck out his first time. 0-1.
We talked about the Home Depot know-how question of the game. Well, for this guy, you don't really need a scouting report. Just fastballs on the scouting report. Yep. There's nothing else.
Lay off everything else. He hasn't thrown anything else for a strike today. Jason Bluff didn't go, and Ross in the hole 0-2. Braves left the bases loaded last inning. Came into this inning 4 for 25, hitting with runners in scoring position in the game, in the series. And turned that around as Ross stays alive. Big lead for Jason at first. Draws a throw.
We're talking about hitting with runners in scoring position for the Braves, and they hadn't done very well in that category, but you know, that's a train of thought that you have to have when you have a guy in scoring position, is that you know the pitcher's in trouble, he knows he's in trouble, so you hit your pitch, he's going to try to make you hit his, and that all comes down to discipline.
Struck him out. Tied him up a little bit inside with a fastball, and that's 4 strikeouts for Nicasio. First out of the inning in time for our Sunshine House leaderboard. Best records in baseball since June 7th, and the Braves at the top of the list at 20-8. And the next 2 teams are also National League East teams. And that's one of the reasons the Braves haven't been able to gain any ground on the Phillies until last night. It's because the Phillies have been playing great baseball. Braves gained a game last night thanks to a Mike Stanton home run and a walk-off homer for the Marlins.
I guess it's safe to say that both Eastern divisions in both leagues are doing pretty well. Yankees and Red Sox were the other 2 teams on that board.
Nate McClough drew an intentional pass his first time. Another good lead for Hayward. Not going. There's a breaking ball for a strike. 1-1. Braves are at that 5-run mark again with this big inning. They've won 15 straight games where they've scored at least 5 runs. And they are 29-2 this year when they score 5 or more. There goes Hayward. Pitch is high. Ionetta's throw gets away from Herrera. Jason hops up, but he'll stay at second. And it looked like they had a chance at him, Ron, but Herrera tried to put the tag down too soon.
Yeah, you got to catch it before you tag, but Jason gets a pretty good jump here. He looks in almost like it's a hit and run. That ball looked like it actually hit him on the arm. Just off the glove, but yeah, you got to make that play.
Good stolen base for Hayward. 2-1 to McClough. Another pickoff attempt.
Chiambi's just he's over there shaking his head going, what is he thinking? I've told him time and time again just to pay attention to the guy at the plate. First thing he does is he throws over to second.
I'll give you the idea that he's not real anxious to throw one to the plate. 2-2. Nicasio got the Braves 1-2-3 in the first inning on 9 pitches. He's now at 66 pitches, and we're in the bottom of the 3rd.
I keep saying that I think that Jason Hayward has the ability to do a 30-30 season if he can stay healthy. I don't think I'm too far-fetched there.
I don't either. Nate takes outside. It's interesting. There's a cloud that came over and blocked the sun, so it got a little shady here at the ballpark. And with that, Nate took his sunglasses off. Full count. Doing a nice job with guys in scoring position so far on the year. Fights that one off.
You hit with shades on, which I could never do, but you're in the middle of an at-bat and you take the shades off, and I'm sure it has to take a minute or two before your eyes can refocus.
You'd think so.
Took a pretty good hack at that pitch, though. Helps to know that a fastball's coming 90% of the time.
Another 3-2 pitch. Lifted out of play. And Nate's only hitting .228, but his on-base percentage coming into the game was right at .350. He's at .346, which is very good. So he's getting on. May not be getting a lot of hits, but he's got 35 walks now on the year against 39, make it 38 strikeouts. Hit hard, but foul down the left field line. 70 pitches now for Nicasio. "37 pitches so far this inning.
Good at bat for Nate McLeod, making him work also.
And he walked him. That's his third walk. First and second, one out, and Jim Tracy, even though Hudson's coming to the plate, Jim Tracy is going to mercifully make a change here. 71 pitches, and he's only got one out in the third inning. Been a rough outing for him. Nicasio exits. We'll be right back. By Blimpie, by SunTrust, by AT&T Uverse, by McDonald's, and by Toyota. Big inning here for the Braves in the third inning. They had 5 runs and 6 hits before the first out was recorded, and a short day for Juan Nicasio, as he's on the hook for all 5 of those runs and a couple of runners that are on base that Eric Stoltz will inherit here. Stoltz is a left-hander out of Plymouth, Indiana. Makes his home now in Argos, Indiana. 31 years old, 6 feet 225. Those are his numbers at Colorado Springs. He was with the Dodgers up and down for several years, and then got released right at the end of spring training last year, and then was signed by a team in Japan, the Hiroshima Toyo Carp. Played over there last year, signed with the Rockies in the offseason.
6-10 while he was over in Japan with a 5.07 ERA.
Tim Hudson's going to try to move the runners up, and takes high. 4 sacrifices for Tim on the year. Struck out his first time up today with the bases loaded. That ended the second inning. Braves have batted around here in the third, and only one out. Just the bunt down. Iannetta to third. They get the out there, and the throw to first almost down the right field line. Nice save by Ellis. And good hustle by Iannetta to pounce on that and get the lead runner.
Yeah, Huddy just didn't get it out there far enough for the pitcher to field it and get that runner over to third base. That's a good play by Iannetta. Braves still almost got a run. Almost threw that ball away.
Yeah, that would have been all the way down by the tarp somewhere. Jordan Schaefer got all this started with a double that bounced into the stands to lead off the inning. 10th batter of the inning for Atlanta. 2 out, 2 on. Another downside to that bunt attempt that didn't work for Tim Hudson is that now he's got to run the bases. He's having a conversation at first with his longtime teammate Jason Giambi.
He's probably saying, man, I wish I didn't have to run these bases right now.
Either that or asking Giambi to lighten up on him a little bit when he comes to the plate. Giambi a double and a single a day and 2 RBIs. Oh, and 2 to Schaefer, whose average is closing in on 250. It's at 247. And again, trying to just hit it up the middle or the other way against this lefty. Fights it off, stays alive. 93 on that fastball from Stoltz, too.
We talked about the Rockies bullpen. Pretty much all those guys that come out of there, they all throw pretty hard. 3 lefties for them in the bullpen also.
Flipped that one to center, but Spilborghs is there, and he's got it to end the inning. Braves have a big inning. The first 6 men reach base. They push 5 across, 3 of them on a Freddie Freeman homer. The Braves now lead it 5-2. Up to Philadelphia. They'll start a 3-game series tomorrow night. The Braves lead the season series thus far 5-4, and in a series at Philadelphia in early May, they took 2 out of 3 at Citizens Bank Park. Looking forward to that, as first place might be on the line. Roy Halladay against Brandon Beachy, Tommy Hanson against Cliff Lee, and then Sunday, Derek Lowe against Cole Hamels. That's our Jamison Inn upcoming schedule. Sports South Friday, Big Fox, the national network, Saturday, and then Fox Sports South on Sunday. Hope you'll make your plans to be with us.
That will be one heck of a series.
Tim Hudson had a good rest, with the exception of having to stand out on the base paths there for a couple of minutes. And he's got a 5-2 lead. Ian Stewart, Brian Spilborghs, Chris Iannetta due up the bottom part of the order. always go to this number because it's so amazing, but you like your chances when you give Tim Hudson a lead of 3 or more. A career record of 137-2 with 25 no decisions when he has a lead of 3 or more.
Well, his stuff is just so good that he knows if he has a lead, he doesn't have to go out there and try to make perfect pitches, and he just allows his movement to do all the work for him.
I think earlier today he was maybe he was picking a little too much, Ron. He's got the luxury now of not having to do that.
Giving up that first run in that first inning.
It's off his foot. 2-2 to Stewart. Especially with this lineup, without Tulowitzki, without Gonzalez, without Helton. You got Giambi in there, and you got Smith in there who's got some pop. This guy's got some too, even though he hasn't hit a homer this year. But there are places to go where you can find some outs if you get in a jam. Backhanded by Ugla. 1 out. Spielborg's grounded out his first time. Again, the Rockies have some problems to solve that are a little puzzling. Like with Stewart, who would have expected him to have the struggles he's had this year after hitting 18 homers and driving in 61 runs last year. And even Spielborg's for that point, a 279 average last year, 10 homers, 39 driven in, part-time duty. And he's hitting 217.
And there was a time where Tulo and Cargo both were struggling at the same time, which is most of their offense. And if you have the other guys in the lineup struggling as well, then you don't see many runs cross the plate.
Cutter there for strike 2-2. Again to short. Alex has to charge this one. Makes a good throw. 2 down.
Braves are very strong up the middle with Alex Gonzalez. Dan Ugla's been playing great at second base defensively, and Jordan Schaefer can run him down with anyone. Of course, with the starting pitchers and Brian McCann behind the plate, it's a good reason why they're right behind the Phillies right now, 3 games back. And it's been as hot as they have been.
Iannetta fly to right. Lines this one down the line, but it's going to hook foul. Iannetta's having a good year. However, I mean, his average isn't much, hitting 224, but he's hit some home runs. The only guy in the lineup today in double digits in homers with 10. He's driven in 32. Gets buzzed inside, 1-1. Whatever it was that Tim wanted to do, Ross couldn't figure it out, so he got it straight from the gymnast's mouth. I don't know if you saw it in his last start, but Tim's quite a tumbler.
Yeah. Was just saying it couldn't have happened to a better guy.
Perfect guy. This is against Baltimore. First batter. And right back up to his feet.
Then he almost falls again.
Almost took a header again. Short hop shot right to Ugla. And he handled it. Nice play, Dan. almost in self-defense. 3 up and 3 down go the Rockies. A shutdown inning after the Braves scored 5. As we go to the bottom half of the 4th inning, and a lot of offense for the Braves there in the 3rd inning.
A lot of offense for Atlanta. Again, we talked about them stringing along some innings now, or getting a little bit more consistent at driving in runs. And, of course, Tim Hudson, after giving up that first run in the 1st inning, has settled down and has been the Tim Hudson we expect.
Gonzalez, Jones, and Freeman due up for Atlanta here in the 4th after the Braves sent 10 men to the plate in the 3rd inning. Yeah, that's what I say. 9 runs, 14 hits last night. Freddie Gonzalez said afterwards, he said people look at that and they think, well, it was an easy game, but there were a lot of points in the middle of that game that could have turned around had the Rockies gotten a key hit. They left 9 men on base.
I think it's kind of been overlooked what Freddie has actually done with this ball club this year. I mean, they've had their share of injuries. The offense has struggled at times, and he's moved that lineup around and put some guys in that 2nd spot like Alex, trying to get them hot. He's done a really good job for Atlanta this year. And I think it's been overlooked.
He's done a great job. Certainly not under the easiest of circumstances, having to.
That's right.
Come in and replace a legend. Strike call to Alex. He had a base hit and an RBI in the 3rd inning. 1 for 2. Two and 2.
You talk to some of the guys in the clubhouse, and they'll tell you that. I mean, they really love Freddie Gonzalez, and they say it's almost like he's a teammate, not the manager. I mean, he communicates well. He's in the clubhouse joking around with the guys and keeps it loose.
This is in no way, shape, or form to be anything disrespectful to Bobby Cox, but he is younger. I mean, he is from a different generation and a little closer to these guys' age, and I'm sure there is, in some ways, a way that Freddie can communicate that perhaps Bobby couldn't. I don't know. As much as the players loved and respected Bobby, and as much as they got along with him and he with them, I think that's going to happen, though, if you've got a younger guy.
You know, and I see a lot of Bobby's traits in Freddie Gonzalez, but not every manager is going to manage the same way. They're all going to see it differently. But
high drive to left by Alex Wigginton. is there. 1 out.
But the transition has been pretty seamless.
Chipper lined a base hit his last time up. He's 1 for 2. He's hitting 6 straight. Switches around to bat right-handed. Stoltz worked here a couple of nights ago. 2 innings of relief. 2 innings, 2 hits, a run. It was on a home run by Ugla. 426 feet, you might remember, to left field. Fought that one off, 1-1. I know Chipper's hurting. I know his knee hurts. Foul one off his ankle. Was it last night or night before? And he's swinging good. He's swinging real aggressively, I think, which to me says he's got a real strong base under him.
Well, he says he feels good. I'm sure he has a few aches and pains, but you know, you can tell a guy that's a very strong hitter because he's never off balance. I mean, he's taking an off swing every once in a while, but not often. It looked like that felt too good, though.
No. Like he asked Scott Berry, too, if that was a strike. You don't often see him ask. Hit that one sharply to center. Spielborgs froze for a minute and then able to get on his horse and haul that one in right at the warning track. 2 out. And here comes Freddie Freeman. Time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast, and it sure was.
Freddie Freeman getting a pitch, a mistake pitch from Nicasio away. You see Ionetta set up on the inside part of the plate, and that ball runs back on the outside part of the plate. And right now, Freddie Freeman is so locked in, he's dropping the ball out of the ballpark the other way.
Give you an idea about how Freddie's made some adjustments and what he's doing lately. He hit 6 homers in his first 238 at bats. 6 and 238. He's hit 7 in his last 60.
I mean, did you see how he took that first pitch? He got a big breaking ball from Stoltz there, and all he did was turn that front shoulder in. So that tells me he's seeing the ball well. He just pretty much just spit on that pitch like it was nothing. He almost saw it coming right out of his hand.
It's that one hard. Nice play by Giambi to the backhand. Toss to Stoltz for the out. Nice play by the big first baseman, Jason Giambi. And Stoltz gets the Braves in order. And we go to the 5th. Atlanta up 5-2. Play. And time for the answer to our AT&T U-verse trivia question. Since 2009, Carlos Gonzalez, one of only 3 players with 50 or more steals and 60 or more homers. Who are the other 2? I came up with Ryan Braun, but I can't think of anybody else.
Okay, well, I'll try to chip in, and I'm going to say Matt Kemp.
That's a good one, too.
Oh, baby.
Hey, teamwork.
What a team we are.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Very, very nice.
That's what I'm talking about. Going for the sweep. Eric Stoltz is going to stay in and hit for himself here.
Both of those guys, by the way, are having one heck of seasons this year.
Stoltz makes contact. Better than that, he hits it over Jordan Schaefer's head and short hops the wall. He burned the outfield with that one. Who'd have thunk it? First at bat.
Oh, that ball really carried, but you see the outfielders playing it shallow. You don't expect the pitcher to do this. Ball's carrying, too.
What's that all about? Now, DeLima tells us he's a .229 career hitter, so maybe it wasn't an accident.
Should have expected it.
Yeah. Ty Wigginson gets his first at bat. He came in to pinch run for Blackman back in the 3rd. Chops that foul.
Woo. Every time Chipper runs over to try to make that play, it scares me to death. That's the play he got hurt on last year down in Houston. Backhanding that play and trying to make the jump throw to first base. Came down awkward on that knee and ended up having to have surgery. But he seems pretty comfortable doing it now. I've seen him do it a couple times. Seems like it's okay.
The 0-1 to Wigginson. Outside. No word. I don't think we've gotten any word on Charlie Blackman, have we? Looked like he was limping off after stumbling around second, going first to third on a hit and run play, and had to come out of the game.
Yeah, it looked like some type of foot injury, maybe an ankle.
Oh, nice curveball. Oh, where was that? Inside, I guess. 2-1.
Whew. If anything, it might have been a little up. Caught some of the plate.
Another curveball hit to short. Stoltz will freeze at second, and Wigginson thrown out. 1 out in the 5th.
That is, to me, not a good at bat. I mean, you're struggling for runs offensively, and I know Wigginton is one of their RBI guys, but if you don't do the little things and win games, you can pick up a run there if you get that runner to third base there with 1 out.
Yeah, even this is the 5th inning, so you pick up a run here and get within 2, and you keep pecking away. So I'm with you. Jonathan Herrera again, another good at bat last time up on a hit and run play. Just dribbled one through the vacated spot at shortstop where Gonzalez was. It was his 5th hit in the series. He's 5 for 11. And he might have found another hole. Oh, what a diving play by Ugla, back to the pitcher covering, not in time. That went off the glove of Freeman, and Dan did a great job of corralling it to keep the runner from scoring, and almost got an out.
Yeah, I don't think if this ball gets into the outfield, Jason Hayward's going to have a chance to throw the runner out, because it did get deflected. So Dan Ugla makes a spectacular play and saves a run there.
And another hit for Herrera. They're at the corners for Giambi, who's driven in both of their runs today, with a double in the 1st and a single in the 3rd. Representing the tying run. And Hudson stays away from him again. Tim got a big double play in the 3rd inning. With the bases loaded, 1 out. Grounder to Chipper. He stepped on third and went to first for a double play off the bat of Ellis. And then the Braves came up in the bottom of the third and scored 5 runs on 6 hits before there was even an out recorded. This is downstairs, 2-0. Good hitters count. Tim not giving him much to hit.
Still got a base open even though it's at second base.
They were all buddy-buddy over there at first base, but none of that going on now.
I'll tell you one thing, Tim Hudson better be ready right here because Jason Giambi, I'm sure, has the green light.
Wasn't a pitch to his liking, though, 3-1. Giambi with 2 RBIs today, has 22 on the year. Popped him up. Gonzalez fighting the sun makes the catch, backpedaling out onto the outfield grass, and a huge out there for Hudson on a 3-1 count. I think he did what you've been wanting him to do, and that's go inside.
Get it in there. You see Rossi set up inside, and it looked like a little bit of a cutter or something. He was trying to run it in on Jason Giambi, and he gets it in far enough to jam him up a little bit to the fly out.
A big out.
I mean, his numbers against Tim are very large, so Tim trying to change it up and come inside, and he has to. I mean, you just can't let the guy wear you out.
Still not out of the woods, though. Seth Smith, a dangerous hitter, too. He's flied out and been hit by a pitch. .75 pitches for Hudson. Stoltz running at third, and Herrera at first. Into the Braves dugout. 2-1 the count.
Well, maybe it's a good thing that Stoltz is running the bases also. No one warming up in the bullpen, so of course he's going to go back out there.
Nice play, Smith, pretty much straight away. Takes a sinker low, 3-1. Mark Ellis on deck. You got Giambi to pop up on a 3-1 count. See what he offers Smith here. Breaking ball and a beauty. Backdoor pitch, full count. Just to get over breaking ball for a strike. Freeman will play behind Herrera at first. And Herrera will be off with the pitch. Two-seamer that Hudson thought was a strike. Wants to know if it was down, and Scott Berry nods yes. That's the pitch that's really been doing some damage for Tim when he's been in trouble, but he didn't get the call.
You know, that's pretty close. Again, you see Berry set up on the inside part of the plate, so he had a pretty good view of this, but must have thought it was down a little bit.
Well, when I see David Ross's glove come up when he was trying to frame it up, then that pretty good indication it probably was low. But they're loaded for Ellis, who came up with them loaded and 1 out in the 3rd inning and hit into a double play to end the inning. second walk of the day for Hudson. He's also hit a batter. And that was Smith also. Strike call to Ellis. He gets ahead of him. The Rockies this year, with 2 out and the bases loaded, as a team hitting 135.
It's not very good. Pretty good pitch there also.
Either Tim's just missing from what he's been doing over his last 3 starts, or Scott Berry's just not giving him those pitches that he's been getting.
Well, that's where he has to be.
Chopper to short. Might get out of the inning right here, and he does. The short way from Alex to Ugla. And the Rockies again struggle with the bases loaded. Leave them out there, and we go to the bottom of the 5th. Reminder that on Friday, August 12th, prior to the Braves against the Cubs, the Braves will honor their longtime skipper and future Hall of Famer Bobby Cox by retiring his number 6 jersey. Join us at Turner Field for this historic event. For tickets, visit Braves.com/tickets or call 1-800-745-3000. It's going to be a great weekend.
Very emotional, very special.
He'll go into the Hall of Fame earlier that day. He'll have his number retired. There's all kinds of alumni festivities over the weekend, including an alumni/celebrity softball or baseball game. I'm not sure. I think it's a softball game that weekend. And the commemoration, the honoring of the 91 Braves team that went to the World Series, the worst to first team. I think there's already 20 commitments from guys from that team that are coming back.
It's going to be good to see some of those guys I hadn't seen in a while. You know, it's very special for me because, you know, Bobby and I go way back to when he was a general manager and I was in the minor leagues, and he always had an eye on me and always came to check on me. So I've known him for a long time, and he always thought I was good enough to make it to the big leagues, and I appreciate that from a guy that knows baseball from the inside out.
It'll be a great day. We hope the fans will join us. 1-2 to Ugla, who hit one about 9 miles off Stultz here the other night.
But I'm sure he had his doubts when I was playing third base.
Well,
that's how I ended up in the outfield.
All he did was shift gears on that.
That's right.
In the air to right. Smith over near the line and in a little bit. He'll make the catch. And that is 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row set down by Stultz. Jason Hayward, 2 hits today, a double and a single and an RBI. Bumps his average up to 230. That slow curve got away from him. Ball 1. Braves will wish the Rockies some good luck when they leave town. They go to Washington, begin a 3-game series there tomorrow. Jason puts a charge in one to deep right center, and that ball is gone. Home run. That ball jumped. His 9th.
Yeah, Joe, that ball got out in a hurry. Jason Hayward gets his arms extended on this swing. It's a pitch where take a look at it and you see where Inetta set up, and it runs right over the middle of the plate. Again, I've talked about how far he stands off the plate, so if you make those mistakes in the middle of the plate away, Jason Hayward is very good there, so you're going to have to push him inside.
Got his arms extended. His 9th homer. And a big day for him. He's 3 for 3. David Ross would like to join the hit parade. Braves have 8 of them. He's 0 for 2, a couple of strikeouts. It's the first 3-hit game for Jason Hayward since April 24th at San Francisco. So he's on the verge, if not already going that way, of breaking out. And a thing of beauty from Ross as he beats the throw back to the bag. It was kind of a top spin lob there.
Hey, man, it looks like a line drive in the scorebook tomorrow.
And you can say he has joined the hit parade.
Good pin placement there.
Very much. Good thing he had a low spin ball. Get a little more carry on it.
OVX.
Nate McLeod has walked twice today, once intentionally. 6-2 Atlanta. Going for the sweep.
Yeah, you're right about Jason Hayward there, Joe. I think the most important thing is, we talked about some of the things he does at the plate, but the most important thing is he's healthy. And he looks like he's healthy. He's running healthy. He's swinging the bat like he's healthy.
Nate sends one straight up. Giambi blocking the sun. Iannetta is there. They bump into each other, but Giambi makes the catch and really didn't feel a thing.
Yeah, that's one guy you don't want to run into, and that's Jason Giambi, even with all the gear on.
Not sure. I thought I heard Giambi calling for it. I'm not sure why Iannetta had gone that far to try to get that.
Yeah, that's a tough play for a catcher to go that far. You have to, more times than none, you'll see the catcher turn around.
Or at least look. Take a look and see where the first baseman is. Here's Hudson. He struck out. Tried to move some runners up with a bunt and was unsuccessful with that. Reached on a fielder's choice. Big swing and a miss there. Oh and 2.
Pretty impressed with Stoltz. He's out throwing hard. He's seen a couple pitches. He's ran it up there at 94 and 95 miles an hour. He's going right after the hitters. I'm sure he'd like to have that breaking ball back he threw to Jason Hayward.
Iannetta can't hang on to that one. Foul tip. He's still alive. The last time the Braves swept 4 straight games from the Rockies was the first time they met at Mile High Stadium in May of 1993. Out of play.
I think I had a part in doing some of that damage.
I know this. There were a lot of people at the ballpark. Remember how they used to pack into Mile High?
It was a great atmosphere.
I think they set the all-time attendance record for one season playing in that stadium before Coors Field was built at about 4.5 million people for one season. Struck him out. Inning over. Braves get a run, add to their lead. Jason Hayward with his 9th home, rocket into right center, and we go to the 6th, 6-2 Braves. Baseball on Peachtree TV and Fox Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price. Tim Hudson back out there for his 6th inning of work. Took his time getting out there because David Ross was on base getting his equipment on. Stay in the shade as long as he could. He has scattered 5 hits, gave up a run in the first and a run in the third, and was behind 2-0. But his teammates went to work in the 3rd inning. Braves put a 5 spot on the board. 3 of them off the bat of Freddie Freeman, who had a 3-run homer. And Jason Hayward just went deep as well in the bottom of the 5th. Bottom part of the order. Stewart, Spilborghs, and Iannetta. Those guys have not given Tim any problem thus far today. They went in order as a threesome in the 2nd and a repeat of that in the 4th. But with all due respect to Stewart and Spilborghs and Charlie Blackmon and Jonathan Herrera, who's had a good series, this is an injury-depleted ball club, the Rockies, right now. Los Gonzalez with a collision into the fence at Coors Field at the end of their series with Kansas City. They were hoping to have him back today. Didn't happen. Might happen in Washington. They lost Tulowitzki in the first game of this series, running out a ground ball and strained a quadricep muscle. He hasn't played since. Todd Helton not playing today, but just given a day off. They also lost one of their key starters, Jorge De La Rosa, to Tommy John surgery a few weeks ago. That was a big blow to the rotation.
Yeah, they're not scoring many runs, and I mentioned they lost 4 straight. And those 4 losses. Their ERA as a pitching staff is 9. So you're giving up a lot of runs and you're not scoring any.
Yeah, hard to overcome that. Chopper over the mound. Tough play for Ugla. He swoops in and gets it. Nice play. Dan's had himself a nice day defensively. A real good play to take an infield hit away from Stewart.
Yeah, I keep saying this. You know, Dan Ugla, we know he struggled at the plate first part of the season, but the one thing that's been consistent, and that's been his defense. Real good play there, showing off his range.
Stewart, Spilborghs, and Ionetta today are 0 for 7 with 6 ground outs. The only one to hit one in the air was Ionetta, a fly ball to right in the second. Oh, and Dan. With all those great plays he's made today. Spilborghs hit him a changeup and it went right through his legs. E4.
Oh, man. Did I just jinx him?
Maybe we both did, but it's not funny to Dan, but it's funny sitting up here.
Yeah, that ball hit right off the end of the bat. Sure, it looked like a line drive when it first left the bat, and then it had that top spin on it and just fooled him.
It looked like he couldn't decide if he just come in and catch it in the air or play it on the short hop, and we saw what happened. Chris Ionetta 0 for 2. Gets a curve for a strike. Martin Prado had his first rehab assignment last night in Charlotte for Gwinnett. 0 for 2 with a walk. Sidearm from Hudson. This low. The plan, I'm told right now, on Martin is to come back after the break.
Yeah, I mean, the most important thing is how he runs down there, how well his legs feel. Not the numbers. I just mentioned 0 for 2 with a walk, but
to right field, Hayward near the line will make the catch. Spilborghs helps us back to first. And Eric Stoltz's going to hit again. Why not? They have 5 hits today. Giambi has 2 of them, and the relief pitcher has a double. The outfield's still shallow, but maybe not quite as shallow as they were his first at bat when he hit it over everybody's head to left center.
Yeah, a little bit of respect this at bat.
Time was called because the Braves bench was trying to get Nate McLouth's attention to back up a little bit. Change up and beauty.
He does take a pretty good hack up there.
Stays alive there. The Braves team ERA, as for the starters, ERA is 3.23 coming into this game. If that held true the rest of the year, that'd be the lowest for the Braves starting staff since 1998, when the staff was Maddox, Glavine, Smoltz, Nagel, and Millwood. Whew. Put it in play again. Alex will have to make a throw on the run, and he does, and gets him. So the error doesn't amount to anything. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. Braves still up, 6-2.
Welcome back to the Coors Light 6th inning, and now it's time for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. And this is the second inning, a drive to left center by Jason Hayward. And take a look at Ryan Spielborg. Almost makes his catch right off the edge of the glove there. Good effort, but comes up with nothing. That was our Coors Light Freeze Cam, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
My beer.
Adult beverage.
Eric Stoltz finishing his warm-ups. He's done a nice job here. Gave up the home run to Hayward, but other than that, he's done some good work here in long relief for Jim Tracy, giving the bullpen a little bit of a break after Juan Nicasio was knocked out after 3 1/3. Top of the order for Atlanta. Schaefer, Gonzalez, and Jones. Jordan today 1 for 3. He doubled and got the third inning started. A 5-run, 6-hit third inning.
Yeah, basically one mistake so far by Stoltz.
Corners in close for the Rockies in case Schaefer tries to bunt. Takes high ball 1.
Yeah, guys like Schaefer bring that third baseman in and then slap a single bomb.
.40 pitches for Stoltz, and in the heat he's maybe getting a little worn down. He also had run the bases, remember?
That's right.
And I can promise you, he's been pitching in Colorado Springs. A little hotter here.
Yeah.
It's especially hot right now.
It did get a little warm over here.
Mostly around the collar. 3-1. In the air to left. Ty Wigginton has it. 1 out in the 6th. Jordan's 1 for 4, and here's Gonzalez. He's 1 for 3. In the third inning, if you just joined us, Schaefer led off with a ground rule double. Gonzalez singled him home. Chipper had a single, and then Freddie Freeman hit an opposite field, left center field 3-run homer. Then Ugla followed that with a double. Hayward drove him in with a single. And the Braves had 5 runs in on 6 hits and nobody out. That's all they would get. Iannetta with a slow walk out there. To give Stoltz a chance to regroup or catch his breath, or to give Matt Reynolds a chance to loosen up more. The RBI for Gonzalez in the third inning, his 26th of the year. Sharply hit to third and off the glove of Stewart. That'll be a boot. An error on Stewart. Only the second by the Rockies in this series.
Yeah, we mentioned the Rockies have been playing pretty good defense, but this is a ball that eats him up, and you see where right there he backs up on that. That's a no-no as an infielder. As soon as you back up, you're asking for trouble. You got to come and try to get that ball in the big hop.
Sounded like a former third baseman speaking there.
Yeah, it wasn't there long. Plays like that is the reason why.
Here's Chipper. And he's the subject of our Zaxby's indescribably good play. Man, it was a tough spot. Bases loaded, 1 out. Stepped on third, fired to first, and got Tim Hudson out of a big jam in the third inning.
Yeah, he was smarter than you and I, because I definitely thought he was going to home plate after that.
To center field. Spilborghs is playing deep, and he'll make a sliding catch. 2 out. And then Ryan gets up and throws it, and nobody knows where he's throwing it, but Giambi's there to back everybody up. 2 down. Freddie has walked, he's homered, and he's grounded out. He was robbed of a hit by Giambi his last time up, when Jason made a nice diving stop to the backhand side. Takes a look at a slow curve. Freddie up to 13 homers and 42 RBIs. He's hit in 5 straight. Out of play.
You can tell that he's locked in, because it looks like he's on everything. Every swing that he takes, he just looks like he sees the ball very well. There's a good hack right there.
Dan Uggla would be next. Big cut at an off-speed pitch there, and had pretty good timing on it too. Stayed back, but couldn't get it. 1-2. Lays off another breaking ball. 2-2. Last night, Jair Jurgens won his 12th game for the Braves. He's 12-3 with a 1.87 ERA. The only pitcher that's come close to that was Randy Johnson. Actually, he's the first pitcher since Randy Johnson to have a sub-2 ERA and as many as 12 wins since 2000. Oh, that's a thing of beauty. That looked like a little half pitching wedge that he lobbed into center field. 1st and 3rd, 2 out. So Freddie gets that hit that he was robbed of by Giambi earlier.
That's right. And this is a real tough pitch, but again, Freddie just goes down and gets this, and it's because he's got himself in good hitting position. It's a tough pitch to hit, but he's swinging so well. He's just, no matter what he does right now, he's getting hits.
Look at that form. I mean, that is beautiful. We need to tape that and send it around to some schools and say, here, hit like this guy.
Yeah.
It looks like that's going to spell the end of the day for Eric Stultz and his long relief. And we'll be right back. Delta Airlines is a proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves. And they should be proud today, as we all are. Braves On top, 6-2, trying to add some more. 2 out in the 6th inning. Runners on the corners, and Matt Reynolds gets the call from the bullpen. He worked here in game 1 and gave up a home run to Freddie Freeman. He will face Dan Ugla with Freeman at first and Gonzalez at third. Ugla today 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. And his double was to right field.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a big second half of the season, especially with his mindset now going the other way with some of these tough pitches.
Back-to-back games for the Braves in double digits in the hit column, and we're only in the 6th inning. Two and 0 the count. Dan might come out of his shoes right here. It lays off a slider.
Yeah, he has a tendency to do that from time to time, especially if he gets a pitch up in the strike zone in the middle of the plate.
That's foul. The count is 3-1. Reynolds, born in St. Charles, Illinois, lives now in Knoxville. Out of Austin P State University. 20th round pick. And he walked him. First batter he faces loads him up for Jason Hayward, who homered his last time up.
Yeah, that's something you don't want to see out of a guy coming out of the bullpen in a tough situation. As a guy come in and starts walking guys.
Not what Jim Tracy had in mind, and now a guy who's hot, Jason Hayward, 3 for 3, needs a triple for the cycle. I saw a replay of that freeze cam on the double in the 2nd inning. He singled in the 3rd and drove in a run, homered in the 5th. Good pitch at the knees on the corner. 1-1 the count. Bounce that off the plate. Ellis, tough play. Jason hustling. Oh, and he called him out. Doggone, looked like he beat it out. Freddie Gonzalez thought he beat it out. Freddie's out to talk to Wally Bell about it. Boy, oh boy. Good hustle by Hayward, but he's called out, and that'll end the inning.
Liking that hat.
Fancy hat.
Yes, sir.
Has that got like flames on it in the bill? Yes, probably does for the red-hot Atlanta Braves. On a red-hot day, and Tim Hudson back out there for the 7th inning.
Doesn't have his best stuff of the day, but
no.
he's fought his way through some innings. Allowed that two-seam sinker to get him out of him.
He's only had 2 perfect innings, and that was the 2nd and the 4th. Last inning, an error interrupted it. Ty Wigginton has his 2nd at bat today since coming on for Blackman. He's grounded out. One for 13 in the series. .98 pitches for Tim on a hot day, but saving the bullpen another inning. He hopes, as that one is popped up, playable for Freeman. And he puts it away, 1 out. That argument at first base didn't last too long, but I think our replay showed that Jason hustled down the line to beat out that infield hit. Just didn't get the call.
Yeah, this is a pretty close play here at first base, but you mentioned Jason. Yeah, that's close, and I believe he's safe, but nothing out of it.
Jonathan Herrera takes a strike. He's had a good day. 2 for 2 with a walk and a run scored.
Wally might have been calling him out before the play even developed.
There might have been a little want to go home Wally in that one.
Yeah. Getaway day, man.
Yep. Herrera finally down on strikes. They solved him at least once in this game and not too often in the series. 2 down. It's only the 2nd strikeout for Hudson today. And the other was Nicasio. Shift being employed for Giambi, who's 2 for 3, a double, a single. He's popped up, driven in 2 runs, and that pop-up came with runners at 1st and 3rd and 1 out in the 5th when he represented the tying run. Change up and a beauty, 1-1.
Gets ahead in the count here. And sure is thinking, man, should I try to come in there or not?
Why not?
Sure. 4-run lead.
I remember Smoltz telling me one time he did that with Barry Bonds. He said, I had a lead, or the score was such that he could do that. He was going to throw one as hard as he could inside to Barry just to see what he could do with it. He said, I'm not sure where it came down. He went so far up into the seats here, and Huddy does it to Giambi and gets away with it.
Yeah, he does come inside there.
To the 7th inning stretch we go. Up 6-2 thanks to a big third inning run.
Yeah, the Braves put together some back-to-back hits there, and so far the big blow has been Freddie Freeman, that big 3-run home run. But Tim Hudson, I mentioned earlier, has fought his way through some struggling innings, but he's been pretty good today.
Gretchen Caney tells me that this is the first time that Hayward and Freeman, best pals, have homered in the same game in the big leagues. I have a feeling it won't be the last.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We just got some news on Charlie Blackmon, who was injured on this hit-and-run play. Like he stumbled around second, Ron.
And it went to slow up, and then he had to pick up the base, and it didn't seem like it was much there, but he ended up fracturing his foot.
Yeah, word is that he has a fractured left foot. Suffered, I guess, on that misstep just as he got into second base, rounding second. Goes from bad to worse for the Rockies on the injury front. David Ross, 1 for 3, hit a lightning bolt single to right his first time up.
Sure, that's going to be a good 4 to 6 weeks for him.
A lightning bolt from Ross, gathered up by Ellis, the second baseman, and almost threw him out at first. But he's 1 for 3. And still hitting 300. He's at 306.
Looks like a lightning bolt in the box score, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Cut came up empty, 2-2.
Another hard throwing lefty out of the bullpen.
Struck him out. Hat trick for David Ross, but he's done a good job behind the plate helping Hudson through today's game, and he's got a base hit. First strikeout for Reynolds. Nate McLeod been up 3 times. He's walked twice and he's popped up. He's the only position player without a hit today, but again, he's been on base twice. And another pop up. That's going to reach the seats. 1-1. Phillies are idle today. The Braves can shrink the lead down to 2.5 if they hang on and win here. And then crank up the series at Citizens Bank Park tomorrow night. Brandon Beachy against Roy Halladay. Good breaking ball from Reynolds there, 1-2.
Joe, you and I were talking about it earlier. You were mentioning Chase Utley back in the lineup and some of the numbers he's put up in the past.
Hard hit, base hit. Nate's on the board. He'll have extra bases. And he'll pull into second with a double as Smith gets it in. Hard hit ball by McLeod. His 12th double.
Yeah, Nate's getting some pretty good at-bats up there. I know the numbers don't show it. He's got a low average you mentioned earlier, but some of the balls he's hit, just hadn't had much luck on, but he's staying on pitches, and including against lefties. So he's taking some good at-bats up there to the plate.
Look at this. Tim Hudson going to hit for himself and stay in the game. He must have his second win going on a hot day.
But I was talking about Chase Utley and how he makes that lineup completely different if you take a look at some of the numbers, especially Ryan Howard when Utley's out, as opposed to when he's in the lineup and healthy. And it's a completely different offense. And I still think they're going to need a right fielder. There's some holes to fill there for Philadelphia. And you talked about this the other day, that some of the word is maybe Jeff Francoeur could be on his way there.
Yeah, there was a rumor of that one. I know Charlie Manuel has always liked Jeff. McLeod taking off for third, and he'll make it as Iannetta can't hang on to the baseball. Reynolds wasn't paying any attention to McLeod, and he swiped it easily. And for Nate, his third of the year.
Yeah, having Jordan Schaefer and Nate McLeod in the lineup gives you that luxury to have a couple guys that can run. Got to pay attention to those guys.
Tim out of there on strikes, and he barks at Scott Berry because he hadn't been getting that pitch today. Strikeout number 2 for Reynolds.
Like a pretty good pitch. Could have been a little inside, but that's pretty good there.
Yeah, I'm not sure Tim's complaining about that as much as he's made some pitches in that same location and didn't get them. Jordan Schaefer, 1 for 4 today, a double and a run scored. To your point about Chase Utley and what he means to their ball club, though, Ron, since he's come back, 37 games, hitting .283, 6 doubles, 3 triples, 4 homers, he's driven in 18, 6 for 6 in stolen bases. He scored 19 runs. To say that they missed him would be an understatement.
Indeed.
Line to right. Smith almost in his tracks, though. Hauls it in to end the inning. Braves leave a runner at third, and we go to the 8th. Atlanta up by 4. Runs on 11 hits today. They had 9 runs on 14 hits last night. Tim Hudson back out there for his 8th inning of work. He started the game 6'1", 175 pounds. He's about 6 feet and 130 right now. But he's hanging in there. Got a 5-hitter going. 4 of those hits were in the first 3 innings.
Yeah, well, I was going to say I like the both of them, the 6'1" and the 6-foot in there.
Seth Smith takes a strike, 0 for 1 with a walk. He's been hit by a pitch. Right back to the mound, and Huddy will underhand that one to first. That's 6 in a row set down by him. Much easier time of it over the last 2 or 3 innings than he had in the first 3.
Yeah, I think he's settled in nicely. Again, we mentioned a couple bad innings there, but he worked his way out of them. He's pitching with a lead, and when you mentioned, Joe, when you give him that, he settles down.
Ellis takes outside. 0 for 3 today, 3 for 13 in the series. Out of play. And before we get out of town, I want to throw a tip of the cap to the Braves and their work they did over the weekend, over the holiday weekend, for all the military. There were 2,728 members of the military who were able to take advantage of the offer of free tickets in the upper deck for the weekend, all weekend long over the 4th. Family members got in for half the ticket price. But that was a great thing for those folks to be able to bring their families to the ball game with the cooperation of the Braves, and well done, folks. Two and two.
Yeah, I agree, Joe. And, you know, being the son of a man that was in the Army, my father, and a lot of my work ethic and discipline all came from him. And proud to say that brought me up well, and that military background has paid off in my life.
That's great to hear.
But all those servicemen and women definitely deserve what they got this weekend.
Walked him. Tim Madd kicks the dirt. His third walk. Yep. And that's going to end his day. 115 pitches for number 15. And his teammates appreciate what he's done, too, of sticking around today into the 8th inning. And he'll get a good hand from this crowd here at Turner Field.
Way to go, Huddy.
Eighth inning on a hot day. Weathered a storm early in the ball game, gave up runs in the 1st and 3rd inning, but he's out of the ball game with a 6-2 lead. And he'll turn it over to the bullpen as the Braves make the AT&T call to the bullpen. Eric O'Flaherty answers it, and he's in there after a day off. He worked earlier in the Colorado series. Actually worked last night, didn't he? 2 days ago. 2 days ago, worked an inning, gave up a hit, had a strikeout on the 5th.
Well, you mentioned the strikeouts, and this bullpen leads the majors and walks the strikeout ratio. And the good hard throwers. I mean, up and down that bullpen, and everyone's just chipped in.
36 strikeouts, 11 walks for Eric. Right by him.
Check out some of the bullpen numbers for the Atlanta Braves over the last, well, since 2008, last 4 years. 2008 was 4.25. 2009, 3.68. 2010, 3.11. And this year so far, 2.66. So it's gone down every year.
Broken bat. That'll get down for a base hit. Heading to third is Ellis, and they're on the corners with one out. O'Flaherty turned the bat into some firewood, but Stewart has his first hit of the game.
Yeah, it's not that bad of a pitch by O'Flaherty there, but I've talked about getting jammed every once in a while, and good things will happen, and that's exactly what happened there.
First hit for Stewart off a left-handed pitcher this year. Which is, you go, wow, except that you look back and it's only his 5th hit of the year.
Well, yeah, that's true. And I'm sure he's faced a lot of lefties so far.
Spilborghs lays off a sinker. 2-0. It's a 6-2 lead. It seems like it ought to be more, but it's only 4 runs. And it's 3-0 to Spilborghs. If he reaches, Iannetta could come to the plate representing the tying run. Three and 1. Spilborghs 0 for 3. Reached on an error his last time up when he hit that change up to Ugla that got under him. Chased a bad ball, probably ball 4. Full count.
It's one of those things when you know you're going to get a fastball and you gear up for it and you swing at it no matter where it is, and that's what he did there.
And came back and missed, and O'Flaherty into a catcher squat. Thinking he had him struck out.
I thought he did too. I was thinking along with him. This is a pretty good pitch with a tight slider. After throwing him back-to-back fastballs, and
wow,
that had to cross the plate.
Man, Scott Berry getting it from Freddie Gonzalez in the Braves dugout. Man, that was a good pitch.
Even Spilborghs looked back to make sure they weren't going to call it a strike.
Roger McDowell out to get the wheels back on for O'Flaherty here. And Iannetta will come to the plate with the bases loaded, 1 out, representing the tying run. He has 10 homers and 32 RBIs. And the guy who got the day off today, Todd Helton, has come out into the on-deck circle. And O'Flaherty gets ahead.
Yeah, nothing a little 4-6-3 won't cure.
Out of play, 0-2. Among the many things that have been really good about Eric O'Flaherty this year are the fact that one of them is his inherited runners. 15 inherited runners this year, only 1 has scored. Runner at third was an inherited runner, the other 2 belonged to him. 0-2, popped up, off-speed pitch. Who wants it? Freeman has it in fair territory. Infield fly rule applies there. 2 outs. And Todd Helton will hit.
Yeah, pretty good pitch here by O'Flaherty. It was up enough. It was in the middle of the plate, but it was up at the top of the strike zone just enough to get Iannetta to pop it up. Had a little movement on it, too. It wasn't straight.
Nice to have this kind of weapon on the bench when you give him a day off in this situation. And Helton takes a strike. 2 for 10 in the series with 3 walks. Yeah, hit the bat. Maybe not. Runner coming in. Oh, and he dropped the ball. Scott Berry was about to ring him up, but the slide knocked the ball loose. What the ball hit when it went by? I thought it ticked something. It's a glove.
Yeah, Ross gets a glove on it, but couldn't snare it. But O'Flaherty holds on. You're right, Joe. He's going to call him out.
Ellis took a big chance there, down by 4 on what would have ended the inning and taken the bat right out of Todd Helton's hands. But it worked out. Run scores on the wild pitch. Runners stayed at first and second. Not sure what they were watching. They probably were surprised to see Ellis go.
And you're right. That's what you have to do. Is you got to keep your eye on that guy at third base or the runner in front of you. And if he goes, you go. So O'Flaherty does a good job of blocking the plate, but just couldn't hang on. Yeah, they had him.
2-1 to Helton. 3-1. Helton on the year hitting .293 against left-handers with 3 of his homers. And he's got a great hitter's count here, 3-1. And he walked him, and they're reloaded for Ty Wigginton. And Freddie Gonzalez is going to his bullpen again because O'Flaherty, whether he was upset by that call he didn't get or the broken bat single, doesn't appear to be himself today. It'll take a little extra effort here to finish up this 8th inning. Bases loaded. Braves make the AT&T call to the bullpen here in the 8th inning for Johnny Venners, who had a night off last night, but he was in the first 2 games of the Colorado series. He's worked 2 innings total against him in this series with 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. No room for error here against Ty Wigginton.
Yeah, this is one guy that the Rockies did not want to see come out of the bullpen today, and that's Johnny Venners. They've made it public that it's pretty much unfair what he brings to the table coming out of the bullpen.
Wigginton is grounded out and fouled out. And takes a slider on the back door for a strike. Tying runs aboard for the Rockies. Out of play, 0-2. Venners in his 2 outings against the Rockies has not faced Wigginton. Aaron Cook, by the way, has come in to pinch run at first for Helton. Cook started last night's game. The 0-2. Wasted outside at 97. Two out and a 1-2 count. Check swing. Did he go? He did. He's out of there. Venners comes in and cleans up the mess and strikes out Ty Wigginton. The Rockies leave them loaded again. They've left 10 men on base again today. On top, but the Braves have been able to avoid any big innings by the Rockies, getting out of some tight jams. Colorado's left the bases loaded twice. They've hit into a bases loaded double play to end 1 inning. And the Rockies go to their bullpen again as Rafael Betancourt comes on. 4th pitcher of the day used by Jim Tracy. He pitched an inning here last night. Gave up 3 hits and 2 runs as Dan Uggla took him deep. He will face Gonzalez, Jones, and Freeman. Rockies have left 10 men on base today. They left 9 on base last night. 2 nights ago they left 10 men on base. And only 3 men left on in the opener of the series when the Braves won 4-1.
Betancourt, 6'2", 215 from Cumana, Venezuela. Another hard-throwing righty coming out of the bullpen for the Rockies. Got some pretty good arms down there, but they can't seem to get to Houston Street.
Not in this series. Gonzalez 1 for 4. He has singled and scored a run. He's also driven 1 in. Good swing. 0-1.
Jim Tracy must really wanted Houston Street to have some rest this series, because you'd figured maybe in today's game at least get 1 inning in just to stay sharp.
And this might have been the inning to do it, since you've got within 3 to hold the Braves off, and instead it's entrusted to Betancourt, who pitched last night, but he gets ahead of Gonzalez 0-2. Struck him out. Went upstairs, got him to chase. Good start for Betancourt. 1 out. Gonzalez 1 for 5. Here's Chipper. He has a base hit and a run scored. He's 1 for 4 today. Hit the ball hard a couple of times. Back around to hit left-handed. Chipper didn't face Betancourt last night. Took a little off that one and a good pitch. 1-1 to the Braves' third baseman.
Change up or something there. Just a get me over fastball. I see Chipper was geared up for a hard one.
And chased that one too, out in front of it. A ball and 2 strikes.
Well, that could be his changeup. I mentioned that he throws hard. He can rush it up there to 95. The pitch there was 86 miles an hour, but everything that comes out of his hand is hard.
Matt Reynolds for the Rockies, an inning and a third, 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Their bullpen's done a good job of keeping this game from getting out of hand after Nicasio gave up 5 runs in the 3rd inning. Eric Stoltz gave up 1 run on a home run by Hayward in his 3 1/3 innings of relief. That's the only run the bullpen's allowed since they started their work in the 3rd inning. Got him on the inside corner. Chipper tied up there. Back-to-back strikeouts for Betancourt. And with Freddie Freeman coming to the plate, time for our Toyota play of the game, a big one.
Yeah, that's coming off the bat of Freddie Freeman. A big 3-run home run here. A mistake pitch. That should have been on the inside part of the plate. Ended up on the outside part of the plate. Freddie right now is as hot as anybody in the National League and drives it out of the ballpark the opposite way.
He's had a pretty good series. 4 homers, 7 RBIs. And a pretty good stretch over the last couple of weeks, too, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, he's pretty much carried this offense, him and Brian McCann.
Broken bat, splintered, but he gets it up the middle for a base hit, and the barrel of the bat gets spiked out in the grass. His 3rd hit of the day.
There's a little bit more proof that getting jammed is not a bad thing. He's just so locked in, and he's staying in the strike zone. He's kind of looking out over the plate, but you get yourself in good hitting position. If they make that mistake, you're going to hit it hard out of the ballpark, or if they come in on you where they want to, you're still strong enough to stay through the ball and get base hits like that.
So he's at first with 2 out for Dan Ugla, who's 1 for 3 with a walk. Doubled and scored in the 3rd inning. Popped him up. Should be out of the inning. Ellis calls for it. He's got it. Craig Kimbrell has been loosening up. We'll see him in the 9th as he tries to set a record. And they'll turn it over to their closer to get it done. The AT&T call to the bullpen goes to Craig Kimbrell, who will try to set a rookie record for the most saves before the All-Star break. He's tied with Jonathan Papelbon, who did it back in 2006. With 26 saves, today would give him the record by himself.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and get that on out of the way. Thank you very much.
Top of their order up, Herrera, Giambi, and Seth Smith. Kimbrell did not work last night in the Braves' 9-1 win. Picked up a save in each of the first 2 games of this series. In fact, he's faced Herrera twice. He has struck him out and gotten him to fly out. Herrera is 2 for 3 with a walk. Struck out his last time up. Goes after the first pitch and sends it a mile high on the third base line. Chipper wants it, and he's got it in fair territory. Gotta like that. 1 pitch, 1 out. Thank you very much. Jason Giambi, the batter, I've been saying he had 2 hits today because he should have had 2 hits, but the official scorer ruled a fielder's choice on a ball that he dribbled down the first baseline that Tim Hudson couldn't get out of his glove. They ruled it a fielder's choice.
Yeah, Tim was going to try to go to home plate on that play, but it was going to be a tough play.
And had he gone to the plate, it would have been a choice made, but there was no choice made. Chipper over on the right side of the diamond for Giambi on the shift. He takes high ball 1. 21,541 here on the Business Fan Special. Jammed him out behind short. Alex backpedaling. He's got it. 2 down. 1 out away from a 4-game sweep. Moving a half game closer to the Phillies. Seth Smith, the batter. 0 for 2. He's reached twice. Once on a walk, once hit by a pitch.
So far, Craig comes out throwing strikes, not trying to overpower guys, just get ahead of the hitters and let them get themselves out.
1 out away from the sweep, 1 out away from a W, 53rd win of the year, and 1 out away from a record. Two and 0 to Smith. Mark Ellis would be next, 2 out. Fans on their feet. You know, far enough. Johnny Venters and Craig Kimbrell have combined for 98 innings pitched out of the bullpen this year so far. That's the most among a duo in the National League. 3-1.
As I mentioned earlier, this bullpen has struck out more batters per innings pitched than any in the major leagues.
Full count.
I can see another one right here.
Struck him out. There's the record. There's the sweep. Craig Kimbrell with number 27 on the year. And the Braves take care of business and take out the Rockies today 6-3. Back with more right after this.